Hi, my name is Morgan Lentz, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the history of American women in education. This topic's really important to understand in terms of analyzing the trends that have happened in the past to understand what's happening right now and what the trends might be like in the future. And as we're going to take a quick look, we're going to look at what lower education looks like, the disparity there, and of course the history of it. But what we're really going to focus on is higher education because that's where we can see the differences in the opportunity for women historically in America. We start off with lower education. In America, in its foundings in 1770, we started out with homeschooling. It was mostly just parents teaching their children simple skills that they needed, whether it be in trade, helping around the farm or the house, or simple reading and writing if they were lucky. And if we move forward into the 1800s, when we start seeing small townhouses like this, school townhouses, and they were run by the town. About 10 to 20 students, boys and girls both went, and they were taught reading, writing, and arithmetic. If we fast forward to about the 1850s to late 1800s is when we start seeing the more government regulated big public schools we see today. That's kind of when the public school system was born. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, from 1850 to 1947, nearly 100 years, the education enrollment for girls was 2 to 4% lower than that of the boys. This gap was not really fixed until the 1970s, when we see the gap lower to about 1 to 2%. Now, when I say lower education, I mean K through 12, ages 5 through 19. Women were taught simple reading, writing, and arithmetic skills again, and this was a more government-regulated program and more on a national scale. Higher education. Women were not allowed to attend universities until Oberlin University admitted the first woman in 1837, and this was only to provide ministers with more intelligent, scholastic wives, not necessarily to create working women. However, the shortage of male-paying students due to the Civil War and their shipment off to this war made the universities have to accept more girls who were willing to pay just to keep the doors open. This proves that women wanted to learn, women wanted to work, because the rate then jumped from 0% to 21%. Further, just 50 years later, women constituted 32% of the undergraduate student body. By 1910, almost 40%, and by 1920, 40% of the undergraduate programs were women. And this is a really a landmark statistic because it actually matches the proportion of women in America at the time, showing that as much women who could afford it were going, and it was almost equal to that of men. However, we do see a fall in this trend, and from 1920s to about the 1970s, we did not see a rate that high. It dropped as low as 31% in 1950, and this is due to the regressive view of the female role in the mid-20th century. In the 1800s, women were actually allowed and encouraged to go to college, and that's why it raised to 47%, because it boosted the women's well-rounded sophistication, and this did not conflict with their homemaking roles. However, as the 20th century progresses and our civilization continues to flourish, we view women as housemakers, and though they might be working in trade, we view that education is almost a threat to what they should do, i.e., educated women did not help them learn how to cook, take care of children, or their husbands. Today, there are more women enrolled in the undergraduate program than men. Over 13% more women in public state schools than men. And this is on a national scale. And why is this? It's because the working woman is much higher of a percentage than it was ever before. Nearly 48% of the workforce is women. Now, this also means that the marrying age has gone up, the number of children per family has gone down, the number of working and the number of divorces has also gone up. This means that women are forced to be the sole provider for their family sometimes. This increases the demand for education for women, higher education, to earn more money, to progress more, to contribute to society more. In conclusion, America has a free public education system for lower education, which is really great because not a lot of the world has that. However, higher education is still a rarity and a blessing if you have the opportunity and the willingness to go. Women are finding a bigger territory in this higher education game, and though future rates may fluctuate due to war, public policy, and birth rates, we hope to continue to see this trend rise. And as a woman in higher education, I value the opportunity to be able to contribute to society and have a voice, as well as educate myself on something individualistic as I want to do. I hope this speech just taught you a little bit more about what it looked like to be a woman in America trying to be educated. Thank you very much.